Billy Ryan High School, home of the Raiders, tagline, home of champions. We're here with assistant principal, longtime Ryan Raider, Bryce Overstreet. Coach, talk to me about Denton ISD and then Ryan High School. You've been a part of Denton ISD for such a long time. What's appealing about Denton that makes you go, I'm gonna put my roots here, I wanna stay here for a long time?
Well, I think one of the things that really, separates us from some of the larger school districts. I've been here this year 23 for me. And when you look at the development of zones with Denton ISD, I think that's taken a school district of, 40,000 students and I guess nearly 40 campuses and really reduced that to zones that allow kids to identify as a Ryan Raider in second grade. I think the vertical alignment within these zones, as we have an area superintendent that's specified over our zone, we have a high school, we have our feeder middle schools, as well as our feeder elementaries. It's not as big, it's not as intimidating, and it allows that growth and the future of the younger kids to see what it's like to be, at Myers or at Strickland or once again, ultimately at Ryan High School. And I think it just creates a culture of oneness, and we pride ourselves in that. And so I think Denton ISD is a very special place because of that.
I like that. So you have these communities within the larger community umbrella of Denton ISD where you can enroll in your elementary school and go, one day I'm gonna be a Ryan Raider. They go to the basketball games, they go to the football games, and they dream that. So you have that small town feel.
Absolutely.
Of where you're gonna be in the future. Ryan High School, home of champions. Where's that come from?
Well, we're perceived by a lot because of how tradition rich our football program is. That's the first thing that people talk about. But we've won multiple championships throughout the years in other sports, in ITech, in theater. It covers the whole gamut. I think ultimately you can look at the championships that have been won, and then we want to grow our kids to be champions. And so when you talk about culture, when you talk about the growth and development of the youth, we want to prepare them to do something beyond high school. And like I said, being a champion doesn't necessarily mean winning a championship, but it's developing that attitude of winning, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's in a job, whether that's on an athletic team.
Not just the sports programs and the rings and things like that, but setting them up for success in the future. So you talked about having these small zones, how important that is from knowing where your kids are coming from and having those relationships with your middle school feeders. The middle schools have those relationships with you guys and their elementary feeders. Sure. How does that help with transitions for kids?
Oh, I think it's dramatic. I mean, like I said, you look at the surrounding communities that are one-horse towns, right? I'm from small town Oklahoma, and I knew I was going to be a yellow jacket my entire life. That was the only option, right? So I think when you get into reducing it to an actual zone, we have meetings throughout the year with leadership in that zone. And I mentioned earlier the vertical alignment of what we want to do as a zone. I think that's paramount to growing our community within our zone, and having the connection of leadership from every campus, which then also trickles down to teachers on every campus, which then trickles down to the students that we serve on, every day.
Bingo. Yep. Nailed it. What do you guys do as kind of the end, as far as the transition goes within schools? How do you reach out to your feeders, and how do you make those eighth graders transition more seamlessly as freshmen?
We've got a few different things that take place, and one of them that I think, and I don't think it's just specific to Ryan High School, but we do pride ourselves in that, is that coaches and sponsors, they connect with those kids from an early age, right? From camps to leagues to that kind of stuff, as well as when you talk about as they're getting closer to us, those middle schools, those sponsors, whether it's band, whether it's athletics, theater arts, they're connecting with those kids before those kids step on campus. That gives those kids a level of comfort that they would not have otherwise. And then every fall we have a transition night. We've got an administrative staff that collectively, 7 principals on our administrative staff. We have over 150 combined years of experience at Ryan High School. A relationship is paramount to everything we do.
I guess in anything, you're more apt to work with someone else. If you know them, you like them, you trust them. And that's what you guys are doing.
That's what we're doing.
I love it. I love it right here at Ryan High School. Let's shift to athletics. Right here on a turf field, everybody knows Ryan High School has an excellent standard in athletics. Football, basketball, baseball, track. I mean, we keep going. How?
You look at Coach Head, the track coach, been here for a long time. You look at Brett Warnack, the baseball coach, been here for a long time. If you go through the list of coaches, as well as our teaching staff, we've got a lot of tenured people that understand our culture. They understand what our kids need. And that goes back to relationship, right? We pride ourselves in really meeting that kid where that kid is. We've got a very diverse population on this campus. We continue on this campus to keep the kids the most important thing.
Let's talk about fine arts. What kind of reputation does Ryan High School have in the fine arts department?
Well, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody better at her job than Janine Abney. Between her, we just walked past David Reeves, we got Scott Thompson, the theater arts department out here. In the same breath that I've talked this entire time, the amount of tenure has once again just led to the success of what they've been able to do in their competitions each and every year. Miss Abney has she's been here forever, and she is a rope holder on this campus, and she's one that makes a dramatic difference in these kids' lives. You talk about relationship. Theater arts is no different than what I've already discussed about our teachers and our coaches. It's primary on what they do and has led to the success that they've had.
Home of Champions is not just a slogan or a tagline. You can see it. You can feel it when you walk the halls, and Coach Overstreet explaining why Home of Champions is a thing here. It's not athletics, it's not fine arts, but Home of Champions so that we can set these kids up for success to be a champion in life. Coach, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Shedding some light on Ryan High School.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.